Right guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make pancakes. Now these are traditional pancakes, they are not American pancakes. Actually, I'm not quite sure whether Americans only ever call them crepes and call their fluffy American pancakes pancakes. I'm going to have to look that one up. But today we're going to be making traditional pancakes, and that is the ones that are like crepes. Okay, or the French name for them is crepes. So I have, the recipe will be below, and in your books, and on Show My Homework, and on Teams, but I'm going to show you the technique now. They are very easy. The batter is very easy to make. Now guys, remember that you are going to be looking at the comparison between making your pancakes and making your lemon slices, which you did last lesson. Now we're going to make crepes, and then also remember that you have to do your tasting comparison worksheet. So I've just got a little pinch of salt. Now I'm very sensitive to salt, so when I say a pinch of salt, I really mean a pinch of salt, because if you add too much, you can actually I can tell, I don't know if a lot of people will, but I would prefer to put in less rather than too much, because nothing is worse than pancakes that are salty when you're having a sweet filling. We'll come up to the fillings later, but for the moment, you're just going to make a little well in the center. Now I'm using a whisk, but you can use a spoon, you can use anything that you want. And into that well, I'm going to add 4 eggs. And, oh guys, I also wanted to mention to you, I'm actually doubling my recipe because, as you know, I've got 5 in my family. And if I only make one batch, then everybody only gets about one and a half pancakes, and that's not enough for them. So I am doubling my recipe. So if you want more pancakes, then please make sure you double your recipe. It makes about 8 pancakes, the original recipe, the recipe that you've got. So if you want to have more pancakes, then please double your recipe. Right, so I've got the eggs in there. I have 2 tablespoons of oil. Now you can use melted butter if you want to. In fact, that would be really nice if you did use melted butter, 2 tablespoons. But I just use oil just because it's convenient. And then I have 600 mils of milk. Now remember, you will have 300 and you'll have 600 if you're going to double it like me. Okay, I'm just going to break those egg yolks up. Right, pour the rest in. And now comes the mixing, guys, because we've got to make sure that there are no lumps. So I'm going to tilt my bowl, and then I'm going to take a little bit of flour each time I use my whisk. And don't whisk too vigorously at this stage, because if you do, you are going to get pancake mix everywhere. Right, and now you're going to keep mixing and whisking. And guys, as I said, you can do this with a spoon as well. You do not have to do it with a whisk. And I've never done it before, but I'm pretty sure you could do it with an electric a hand whisk as well. I don't see any problems with that. Right, now I'm going to mix this, and it's going to take a good I don't know, 5 minutes to mix this. So I'm going to keep mixing this, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it doesn't have any lumps in it. Right guys, so there you can see I've still got 1 or 2 small little lumps, and I will whisk them again. But now I'm going to leave my mixture to stand, and if you can, leave it for about 30 minutes. If you can't, I mean, it's absolutely fine. If you want to make them straight away, then please do. But what I'm going to do while that is resting is I'm going to show you the fillings. Okay guys, so we're having these for dessert. So all the fillings that I've got today are sweet, but you can make these savory. So you could have ham and cheese. You could have mushrooms, cheese and mushrooms, if you want to make it a veggie one. So have a play with them and see what you can come up with. But we generally tend to have them for dessert, so we generally tend to have them with sweet fillings. So on the stove, I have got some berries and I'm just reducing those down. These were frozen berries, so they have a lot of liquid. So I'm reducing them down with a little bit of sugar and a tablespoon, not even, of lemon juice. And I'm just going to let those cook until most of that liquid has evaporated. And that can be for one of them. This is apple butter, which is basically caramelized apple sauce, and it's absolutely delicious. Lots of cinnamon and aniseed flavors. And just plain lemon and sugar, my absolute favorite pancakes. I always have this in my house. This is cinnamon sugar, and we have it on bagels instead of jam. Less sugar, guys. If you actually have a teaspoon of that, just sprinkled over your bagels. And then obviously we have some chocolate and banana, and that's one of my son's favorites. But mostly we have lemon and sugar. Now, you don't have to have this variety. I just wanted to show you what kinds of possibilities you could have. I'm going to get ready now to make the pancakes, and then I'm going to show you how we do that. Alright guys, now I recommend that you have everything ready once you start making your pancakes. So I have a crepe pan, which is a little pan like this. It's very flat, so it's easier to get the pancakes, the crepes out of it. So you can see it's very thin. Alright, but using a normal frying pan is absolutely fine. I have chosen the most shallow frying pan here, and I will, the one that I have, and I will show you how to use that as well. I mean, but it's exactly the same for either one. So I've got those ready. I also have a few other things ready. So I have put my oven on about 100, so quite a low temperature, because I'm going to make all the crepes, and then so that I can serve them all at the same time. I have 2 large plates next to me. One is for the pancakes, and I'm going to layer them, put the other one on top like a lid, and then pop it into the oven, and every time I make a new one, I'm just going to add a pancake to it. I have a little knob of butter, which I'm going to use for my pans. I've got I use a measuring cup, but just because it's easier to scoop. And then I've got a little rest for it as well, because you're going to want one, trust me, because it can be a messy process, this. Okay, so I'm going to start heating up my pans. Now, your pan should be on medium heat, so you don't want them too high, because you don't want the pancakes to burn. Right, so I'm going to heat those up. Do that one like that. Alright, sorry, with the smaller pans, sometimes they don't fit very well onto the metal frames. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little knob of butter and make a little, you don't need a lot, guys, and this is also why I like using a little knob of butter, so I can hold on to it. And then I'm just going to wait for that. Now, the way in which you test if your pans are ready, I'm just going to move my camera. Actually, move it like that. There we go. And you just take a little bit of the mixture, and it's not ready yet. Okay, so you will clearly see when your pan is ready that your little drops will start cooking almost immediately. And these ones, the pan is almost there, guys. It really doesn't take a lot. That one is going to take longer to heat up because it's a thicker pan. All right, so it's almost ready. All right, so yep, that's almost ready now. So I'm just going to get those 2 little bits out. All right, and then I'm going to start. So now this takes a little bit of practice, guys, and I'm going to lift my pan, and I'm going to pour in some mixture, and then I'm going to swirl. Not too much mixture, guys. Right, you want nice thin crepes. Just going to test that one as well. All right, now you will see that you'll start getting bubbles on the side of your pancake as they heat up, and the outside you'll see a lot of little bubbles forming on that side. Try not to get holes in them like me. Alright, but it really doesn't matter if you do. So just going to wait for that one. That one's going to take a little bit longer. So we'll concentrate on this one. I have a little spatula here, and you'll see when it starts, when the crepe is ready or almost ready, you'll see it starts curling away here where the edges are thinner. Sorry, my shadow's in the way. Where the edges are thinner, you can see it starts to pull away. And you may have to change the temperature and adjust the temperature on your pan as it gets a little bit hotter. So just run your spatula, and guys, your pancakes, your crepes, will tell you when they are ready to be turned. Alright, they will come loose, and then I want to see if anyone is brave enough to flip the pancakes. Try not to get them on the ceiling, but if you're brave enough, you can flip your pancakes. Alright, now they really don't take long, guys, and they only take a few seconds on the other side. Can you hear them sizzling away? And just keep an eye on them. I'm going to have to lower the heat on mine in a second. Right, because it's a little bit warm. And you'll find that once you get the temperature right, you'll start just getting them out of the pan, and that's done. So I'll show you what the other side looks like. Right, and then I'm going to put it on my plate, and I'm going to get the next one ready. Right, so I have about, this is a third of a cup, guys, and I'm using almost all one. And just keep swirling it around. Alright, actually I've got a little bit too much in that one. I'm just going to pour that out. Alright, and I'll show you this one as well. Now I'm just going to loosen it here where I've poured the mixture out, otherwise it's going to get stuck. Alright, this one. I think that pan might be ready, so I'll show you how in this one. Now this one's slightly smaller, so I'm going to use slightly less mixture. Oh, that one's still not ready, guys. Can you hear it? Didn't sizzle. Alright, so I'm going to turn the heat up on that one just a tad. Doesn't matter, just wait for it to catch up. Alright, but I'm going to have to watch that one as well. Alright, so this one's almost ready to be turned. Alright, be careful when you get the spatula underneath it. There you go. I think the temperature is really good on this one now, so I'm going to keep the temperature like that on this one. Alright, I have cast iron hands, alright, which means I know how to, my fingertips are desensitized, so don't you do that, just move it around with a spatula. Alright, and it really doesn't take long on that side. And there we go, perfect. I'm going to do about 3, and then I'm going to start popping them into the oven. So I'm going to swap these around for a second, so I can show you this one. Now, you can see how much easier it comes off the crepe pan, even though they're both non-stick pans. Alright. This pan is still not hot enough, guys, so I'm going to have to leave it just a little bit longer. Right. So that one's ready now. It has got little bubbles on the side. Actually, nope, not yet. And this one I can see is a little bit thicker than the other one. Let's see what this one's doing. Alright, definitely didn't get that mixture thin enough, guys. Alright, so just be aware, it's a little bit more difficult in these pans. This one I always find easier. Alright, I'm going to carry on and do those, and then I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to pop them in, the ones that I've made in the oven, and I'm going to show you what we do when we fill them. Sorry guys, just a quick note. You don't have to put butter on the pan every single pancake that you make, alright? Because these pans are non-stick, it really will not stick once it's loose. So just every sort of third or fourth pancake, put a little bit of a smear of butter or oil into the pan. So guys, I just wanted to show you, once you get into the flow of making them, they do get easier, and it just becomes so much easier to spread them out nice and evenly, and to get them nice and golden. And my pan is now at a perfect temperature, which is great because you literally can just keep going, and one after the other after the other. Alright guys, so there we have it. I should have actually chosen a white plate to do this on, but anyway, it's on there now, and mine have got Nutella chocolate spread on the inside, and some berries over the top. Let's see what you can come up with. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've done. Maybe you can make an old favorite called Crepe Suzette, which has got oranges. Let me know how it goes. Enjoy, guys.